So the purpose is to identify the real demand of this question and then discuss. Rather than me giving the hint, this is a key demand, I will going to ask you all to go further beyond the first level and then create another line of ideas or logic for the content of this answer. So let us see this question and give me what we need to highlight while writing an answer. What is the real demand of this question? And we can talk also and do it fast, because more we're going to have a fast interaction.
Sir, may I, sir?
Yes.
Sir, इस question में हमको ये
Make it in English. Talk, language in English.
Okay, yes. Okay, sir. Sir, the key demand of this question is how NDMA guidelines are coinciding with the Sendai Framework.
Yes. Okay. That is in a one reference only. Second is, anybody want to add on? Any, Rohit? Or anyone? Ashu?
So disaster governance should be the main partner.
Okay. Close. Close.
The framework of disaster governance, I feel.
Okay. So how translate Sendai Framework action? Actionable disaster. Okay. So what is in a demand? That how, like, the key demand is not what I am going to write now. So, okay, we have a Sendai Framework for action, okay, and its principles. So this is an international principles, global principles. So we need to see how these global principles is getting transferred into countries' actionable guideline or like practical, like what policies, national practical policies. Practical in the or like practical in the sense. My point is like how it is working on the ground, working in ground. So like for which I have given a list of policies. So this is the outer framework, but we need to tell something more exactly all the time. What is that which is given in this question? What is that word? Yes, we need to establish a relationship between these two, but like what is it? Perception on the which we need to establish a relationship between these two. Actionable, okay, chalo, okay. So the keyword is how effectively. So we need to see how effectively the government of India is letting this transfer like a principles, letting this principles transfer into actionable. So this is what the idea we need to tell. Now that is in the beginning, as I said, this program is not in a so much advanced program. It is in a foundational program. Yes. Yes, Sudhai. This will also come, na? This will be the part of every time. But like we need to justify how effectively. Now, that is where we need to understand what is the meaning of effectively, right? So when we're going to understand effective, then only we're going to justify. Then we're going to justify. Okay, effective को समझना है अभी यहाँ पे ना. We need to see effective policy. What is the effective here means? So effective means which has a result, okay, which gives a result. Now, how result we're going to justify within a second. Second, effective is also justify with respect to the coverage. It can be also justified with the consistency. Okay. It can be also justify with respect to the local relevance. You know, relevance. It can be justified with the sustainability. See, this is the demand, no? This is what the demand is. Now, we must give this idea there in the introduction to tell, yes, we are going to see how Sendai Framework for action, this Sendai Framework for action is in a one word actually. No? So we're going to give a disaster governance, how effectively, how it is helping national practices in terms of the disaster governance effectively. We need to prove all the time how effectively, right? Now, the second point is how you're going to justify. You need to first write Sendai Framework for Actions and its principles actually. So SFA, Sendai Framework for Action. So we have some list of principles for which we need to see which government program is how much effective. So it has some list of priorities. First is understanding disaster risk, DRR. Achha, do you know this principle? In a class also I have given this hint how DRR is different from HFA, Yoga Framework for Action. If it is not, then that is where I say it is in a foundational program. You have to revisit again, looking what is SFA, priorities, what is SFA's principles. So this is a disaster risk. Okay. Now, let me write the different list of principles of SFA. So SFA has this principle, one principle. Second principle of SFA is it has strengthening disaster risk. Not just I'm writing so that strengthening DRR. DRR here stands for disaster risk. No? We'll see within examples which a government policy is helping to strengthen disaster risk. Then we're going to see how which policy is strengthening disaster governance. No? That is all disaster risk governance. No? Okay. Now, then we're going to see how Government of India and different policies are making investment in disaster risk. So these are the priorities of Sendai Framework for Action, or these are the principles, DRR. Okay. And the last one is to enhance preparedness. Enhancing preparedness. Preparedness, I don't know whether you all have attended my class or not. So I have discussed what is preparedness, what is a vulnerability, and that is where I am suggesting you can join, you can opt this recording versions also of these classes where I taught on the fundamentals. Now these are the SFA's principles. Because we have less of battery is there, but need not to worry. We're going to revisit again on this session. Now we need to see how one by one which example of India, which case studies, as I shared, is helping country to understand disaster risk. So I have given some list of examples. Examples are there. You can see in Odisha, it is given there in your a case study. In Odisha, the government is creating a multi-hazard vulnerability atlas. Multi-hazard vulnerability atlas. Now see, when we have an atlas, it means it is a move to identify like a cyclone prone areas, flood prone areas, lightning prone areas. It means we are understanding disaster. And then you have to give your opinion also, not only justify. So अब try करो अपना, give your opinion. If we have atlas there, we understood disaster, then what practical gain going to we have? Practical disaster governance will going to be benefited. बताओ. If we have an atlas ready, like this area is highly risky, less risky, what is an advantage? We can take assumption-based
This can
decision.
be taken, sir.
Yes. So it will help taking what decision? Informed decision or assumption-based decision?
Informed.
Essay, informed decision. Now tell me more, your point. How
we can set alarms also there. So we can
alert, no, prior alert. We can alert, right? We can take informed decision. Okay, tell more point, which touches in a disaster governance.
Evacuation can be faster by using
it can set priority in preparedness. Can't we?
in preparedness.
Priority. Very good. Resilience. Yes. We can invest according to the way Sudeep says. We can make certain infrastructure resilience according to the need. Okay. Same way. So we have a disaster. In Assam, we have AI-based forecasting, flood forecasting. And with respect to the integrating what? Topography, river discharge. Okay. Now tell me, what is an opinion you see when we have a technology is there? Technology, AI-induced description is there. How it is going to help? Out of the context, like, let us feel free. Whatever the feeling comes, clear warning. Exactly, that is what I am looking for. It will give an exact warning. Exactness will come. Accurate, yes. Accuracy, right? That is where, like, ये देखो ये आपका talent है. This is your talent. You know everything. You have to explore your potential like this way. Okay. Now, this way you have to move. Like in Kerala also, this is all I am taking from your this coffee notes. In Kerala also we have a satellite based. तो आज पढ़ना है ना फिर से उसको. We have a satellite based mapping, है ना? So if we have a satellite based mapping, how it is going to help? We have a visualization. One day I was taking this class, and that is where, like, I have learned from the student. I was teaching in a contented drift theory, and then said, what is a biggest advantage of the jigsaw fitting? So like a boy said, sir, it is the most visible evidence. And it made us convinced if something is visible, it will make public aware easily. So visualization, like it is going to make not only government, but the community governance may come into the picture. That way you need to think. Same way, when we have a strengthening of the governance, this side is strengthening of the governance. And if you're going to see this disaster related case studies as I have furnished, there you're going to understand, uske aage, beyond that you have to think how it is touching local governance. Okay, so we have Himachal case studies. If you'll see, you'll find Himachal case studies is there. In state, this disaster management plan, STMP, like now we have a bylaws are there. Bylaws means like a law, and the related laws are known as under heading what laws are there, we call it bylaws. When we have a further clarification of a major law, we call it bylaws. So we have a bylaws are there, and which bylaws have give a kind of a condition. We have a village level committee under this, and there by village level committees we have an instruction that what house to construct at a what ratio of a concrete, right? So now what is like according to DRR, Sendai Framework. So if we have an earthquake prone or landslides regions, so how to have a construction. So what is the link you can see? So here it is not only the global principles are in like a mixing within a national priorities, it is in a local priorities are also, local governance are also connected. That way we need to tell. ये तो मैंने ऐसे सोचा. That is what I thought. कि
So we
देखो,
can also use LIS, Land Information System. Land Information System, sir. LIS.
Yes, good. देखो, wonderful. कि like it is a policy is a land informed information system based. Like even the local and the micro regions, microclimate and the micro landscapes.
Geospatial data analysis also can be used.
Yes, exactly. That is where you have to think and integrate into your answer, right? We have in Delhi also, we have a master plan. Government has made a master plan in 2022 for making Delhi what suitable for every smart city concept. So we have a convergence of many. We have a Hyogo convergence because Delhi is a reputation of India. So we have taken every DRR into consideration. So that is where we can have a accountability fixed, coordination is there. So that way we can tell. GSI, GPS remote station. Yes. When you touch from the case study, you have to go beyond and tell your point of view here. So same way, we have a Kerala rebuild initiatives. Under this, we have a climate resilient infrastructure guideline for the floods, 2018 floods. And this is where you'll get an advantage also. Okay, so we'll conclude here. This much we have for the session today. I have to take this and then we're going to